Okay, that's not a fair comparison. But still.
Before starting this video, I would like to mention that I'm still practicing my English, so please don't hate and bye.
To this day, it's a popular opinion that New Need for Speed bad, Underground 2 nice. There's a lot said about this already, but I have a very in-depth opinion about this, especially now after I've been playing Heat for a couple of days. So welcome to
This video. I don't have a title yet.
this video. I will be comparing Need for Speed Heat to Underground 2 and explain what I think Underground 2 still does better.
But first, here's a quick Need for Speed Heat review.
There are actual intense cop chases, there's a lot of city and not just a lot of sand.
Also, more things to do outside of the story. I like the character selection, the daytime-nighttime difference. I wish I could make more money in nighttime though. Also, the city is kinda dead. But overall, I think it's a decent game. Something weird they did though is completely remove all dead stops.
So we've been really aggressive about pushing dead stops away from the sides of the roads, so you can really get into a groove.
But now, you see this pole? It's metal, right? Big metal pole.
I don't think it works like that. I understand in previous Need for Speed some dead stops are really frustrating, but this is also not the way to go. It should at least feel like you're hitting something, you know? But that's just a little thing I think is weird. But yeah, like I said, I still think it's a decent game. I give it 12 colored tire smokes out of 10. There are also no microtransactions, so... You mean surprise mechanics?
There's surprise mechanics.
yeah, I don't miss those.
But seriously though, it's the best Need for Speed game in a while, so
So I'm not complaining too much. But it's time to compare.
Heat versus Underground 2.
A lot of people have tried to answer the question, what made Underground 2 such a great game? What is it that Underground 2 has that new Need for Speed games don't? Is it the graphics? No, it's not the graphics. It's also not the big amount of detail in the world and the realistic feeling. Obviously, technology developed and there's way more attention to detail in the newer games after 15 years. But despite that, I played Underground 2 in its entirety again this year, and I still really enjoyed it. There's still a lot the new Need for Speed games can learn from it. First of all, I need to mention though, of course, that I was a little kid with a lot of imagination back when I played Underground 2 for the first time, like 12 years ago. People say this often and it's true. It was easier for us to consider games good back then because the bar wasn't set that high, and for a lot of us, you know, we were kids, and every game was good. There are plenty of games I really liked back then that are actually really bad if I think about them now. Like really bad. But Underground 2 is not one of them. Let's just directly compare some stuff. Like first, the world size. This is actually really hard to compare, but if you just drive through both of them, I wouldn't say either of them is really that much bigger. If one of them is bigger, it's probably Heat. And if we compare the amount of cars, for example, Heat totally wins this one. New Need for Speed games have way more cars. And if we compare average playtime, Underground 2 average playtime is around 20 hours. And for me, that was way more.
I guess I just suck or something, I don't know. I thought I was pretty good.
But I can't find average playtime from Heat yet because it's too new. But it's probably not that much longer or shorter than 20 hours. So we can safely say this is not what Underground 2 did better. But I personally don't think it's just the fact that Underground 2 is part of our childhoods that's just why it's good. There's something that Underground 2 actually did better.
Yeah, I still have not started explaining it.
What I think the biggest thing Underground 2 did better is adding mystery and surprises.
There's surprise mechanics.
Not those kind of surprises.
I mean things you can unlock, things you can look forward to. Let me explain. First of all, the fact that you can unlock new parts of the world by progressing the game. That's one big thing. It's a really old school mechanic, but it made stuff very interesting. They divided the world into 4 areas and they all felt different. That really made me excited to continue playing because I just wanted to see what the new areas are like.
Like, what's behind this wall? Let me know.
I was also a kid who didn't know I could just look it up on the internet. But still, modern Need for Speed developers don't even think about doing this because they just want to show off their high quality big open world right away. But that kinda sucks. I personally never feel excited to explore areas in the new Need for Speed. I just don't. And that might actually be because of this mechanic. Probably not only because of this mechanic, the world variety in general might not be big enough. You know, in Underground 2 you have Beacon Hill, Jackson Heights and Cole Harbor, and they all have a different feel, partly because you don't unlock them right away, but they also have many different characteristics. There are places in Need for Speed Heat that look and feel different, yeah, but it's mostly just small places that are a little different, and the biggest part of the world is just one type away. You know, with the extreme amount of detail the worlds have nowadays, it's of course way harder to make a world with much variety. I understand that. But I think just dividing a world into more distinct areas and actually making them locked till you progress gives you something big to look forward to when playing. I miss that now. It would need to be cool areas. No big desert. They would also need to come up with some more creative borders. Another thing is the fact that you can look for shops, and with every shop you find, you unlock new parts. Just the unlocking of visual parts in general is great. In Heat, only performance upgrades are locked at first, but But the visual stuff like the side skirts, the spoilers, neon, and even car colors and decals are things you need to unlock first in Need for Speed Underground 2. There's stuff you don't even unlock until you reach the final chapter of the game. In Heat you have most of that right away, and after just a couple of races you have enough money to tune your car in any way you want. And because of that, customizing your car in Need for Speed Heat just feels like something you can do on the side. In Underground 2 it's more like you actually race to improve your car not only performance wise but also visually. It's a great feeling to finally unlock cool looking parts and making your car shine, and it actually feeling like an achievement. You literally need to improve your car visually in Underground 2 to progress the game. To improve your star rating, to get those DVD covers, to get invited to new races. So I might argue that there are players that don't care about the side skirts, spoilers, neons and stuff and just care about the racing. But that's not Need for Speed, right? We all agree that Underground 2 is a great game. Customization is something you literally have to do there. And just making your car look crazy and shine is just part of what makes it great. With Heat it still is for me. It's just part of the fun in Need for Speed to turn your car into something flashy. Yeah, it's like 15 years later and side skirts and spoilers and spinners aren't things that are cool anymore in real life, but this isn't real life. It's Need for Speed, and that stuff is still cool here even after all those years. If you don't like crazy customization anymore, then you also wouldn't enjoy Underground 2 anymore probably. It's a big part of what made it fun. Luckily in Heat you still don't unlock all cars right away, so there's still stuff to look forward to, but there's still a difference. In Underground 2 you couldn't even see what cars you were going to unlock. It was all a big surprise. In new Need for Speed games you can just scroll through all the locked cars and see what you can unlock. I try not to look at Need for Speed because I don't want it spoiled, but it's still not the same. And also with the visual stuff, the side skirts, spoilers, car colors and stuff, you can see most of it before you unlock them in Underground 2. You only get little hints and previews here and there, but that's all. That's a lot of stuff to work towards and a lot of surprises that he just doesn't have at all. I'm not saying the new Need for Speed game should do it exactly like Underground 2, because things like the hidden car colors and decals wouldn't work as well nowadays because of the whole community design stuff, but they can think about this. Just adding more things to look forward to and work towards. So there's just more purpose. I personally believe that's a big thing that would make Need for Speed more interesting. And then also the second thing, unless they can find better writers and actors, they shouldn't implement such a in-your-face storyline into Need for Speed.
But I'm gonna need those keys right now.
But more a mysterious one like in Underground 2. It's the third time now they failed to create an impressive story, but at least the story in Heat is not that in your face as the ones in Payback and Need for Speed 2015.
Come on, man.
But still, it could be better. I think that pretty much sums up what Underground 2 did better than modern Need for Speed titles. But besides that, Underground 2 is not a perfect game either. If we just compare the driving, I mean, nighttime Heat races are pretty amazing, so the core gameplay racing isn't a problem. There's just things around it they could do better. If they work on that, they could make such great games, honestly. So, finally,
a suggestion. I think it was something in the comments I read in the live chat from the Need for Speed Heat teaser. Somebody said, this Need for Speed will be in Japan. I immediately felt excitement. I also did not believe it at all. But if that was true, that would be amazing, right? It turned out to be Heat and not really that big of a different world. But I thought about it more. You know what would be an amazing Need for Speed game? Need for Speed Tokyo. Dude, if I ask you what your favorite Fast and the Furious movie is, what do you say? I know, Tokyo Drift. Okay, maybe you didn't say that, but it's something I hear a lot. A lot of people agree it's at least one of the better Fast and the Furious movies.
Yeah, the first ones are good as well, but
okay, this is not a video about Fast and the Furious. There's just something really interesting about the way the street racing feels in Tokyo. There's just the whole scene and stuff. I think they could make a really cool Need for Speed game in a Tokyo-based city. Of course, they wouldn't actually name it Tokyo, but you know, a Japanese-style city. It would be sick. What are some of the most iconic Need for Speed cars? 350Z, Skyline, like the NSX. Is that still funny? You can go on. Guess what? They're Japanese. A Japan-based Need for Speed game would work. Also, with the growing popularity of Japanese culture in general, I would say it's not a bad time to start working on an idea like that. I'm just saying. This is definitely personal taste. I don't know what you're thinking right now. I mean, I live in Europe, but I don't feel like Need for Speed Paris or Need for Speed Amsterdam would really fit the aesthetic. But they do need to try something different now to keep it interesting. So, Tokyo. I don't expect them to even consider this because they wouldn't ever take such a risk. It's hard to tell how many people would be interested in this. So they're probably just gonna keep playing it safe. But if a Need for Speed developer is watching this, free ID, take it. I'm not really the type of guy who starts trending subjects, ever. But I said it, you know? I said it. Free ID. So, yeah, that was this video. I'm sorry my English is not that great. I'm practicing. It's practice. It's actually my first video on this channel. I will be explaining who I am later. So, bye. Bye.
So these drugs aren't safe, the walls are talking. In a dark place, surrounded by palm trees. Out of harm's way, shadows upon me, which I've been wanting my mind to quit pondering. Trust me, just peek this morning. This shit's intense, endorphins. 10 p.m.